Welcome to my bookshelf tour. I'm gonna put these candles down because that's dramatic and a fire hazard, to be fair. Welcome to my bookshelf. I have rearranged it 100 times. I've redecorated it 100 times. This has been all over my room and it's looking its best. Dare I say. There, I've said it, it's looking the best it ever did, so let me show it to you. When I originally got this bookshelf, I had maybe half of the amount of books that I have right now, and I was in fact not looking for a bookshelf as big as this one. It just happened to walk into my life. I went on eBay, typed in bookshelf IKEA, this baby showed up. 5 Billy IKEA bookcases with the add-ons and installed lights, and the lovely couple that was selling this on eBay was selling it for free. I've had it for a little bit over a year now, and like I said, changed it up a lot of times, but I'm very happy with it right now. And since day one, I sorted my books into it thinking genre but also vibes, which you'll soon be able to tell. And there's not much else to say. Let's get through it. I was wondering how I should film this video because I didn't want it to just be beautiful clips of my bookshelf, because I feel like that would be boring and no one would want to watch that. So I'm gonna talk a bit about the books, and maybe I'll tell you about some of those books and show you my favorites, the most stunning books I own, and let's go! To my left we have the literary fiction shelf, which is then again kind of sorted into like subgenres. On the top we have the kind of miscellaneous shelf. It's up there because I kind of don't want to look at some of those books, which is funny considering that one of my prized possessions is up there, which is this beautiful copy of Normal People by Sally Rooney, but this is the screenplay version of the TV show, and I love both the book and the TV show, so I love this a lot and I love flicking through it. It's beautiful and I love the cover, and that's why I displayed it up there, because the light shines right on it. I wanted something special up there because the other books are just really random. Like I said, we have like the middle school, you have to read this in English class books, such as John Green, and like random books that I picked up along the way, and gardening books, just whatever I didn't have any other place for, landed up there. I also, which I've just added around Christmas time, and I will be keeping it up for the rest of this bookshelf's life, which will be forever, which is my star garland. And I think it's supposed to be like Christmas decorations, but I love it so much, and it added a little bit of me to the bookshelf, if you couldn't tell by the fact that I put on my best little librarian outfit and the way this bookshelf is decorated. I tried very much to lean into the dark academia and like kind of vampire aesthetic, because that's what the rest of my room looks like, which is a bit tricky, and especially with books like the literary fiction books, because they tend to be a little more colorful, but I didn't want to turn them around, so I tried my best to display them as beautifully as I can. And then right beneath the miscellaneous shelf we have the queer literary fiction shelf, which I think is one of the only shelves which I've read almost every book in. It might be, yeah. It has 2 copies of My Policeman, simply because I wanted one with Harry Styles on it, and it features some of my favorite, like Lie With Me and In Memoriam. The little stack of 3 books is the books that I haven't read yet, which is Young Mungo, We Are the Ants, and The Cemetery Boys. And right on that stack is my Animal Crossing Lego set, because I love Animal Crossing. Really looking forward to reading Young Mungo. It's pretty high on my priority list. All of those books have me in tears. And it features one of my favorite books, which is Call Me By Your Name, which has been to me too crema, and it holds a very special place in my heart. The next shelf is random literary fiction. Like some of my favorite literary fiction is on there, and also some books I haven't read yet. And we also, featuring on this shelf, we have my Irish female author literature. Shrine, more like it, because I love, like I've mentioned, Sally Rooney and Claire Keegan. I would read anything they write, honestly. But right next to it we have this beautiful vintage vase, kind of looks like an urn, and it's so whimsical, and I thought it fit the vibe pretty nicely. The book that I'm showcasing on the shelf is The Rainfall Market, for no specific reason. I just really like how the cover looks, and I thought it matched the vibe of my bookshelf pretty nicely. And underneath that we have Rachel Cusk and Natasha Brown, just because they're white books. We have one of my favorites, which is Hamnet, and we also have a very random YA fantasy retelling of Alice in Wonderland called Off With the Heads, just because I couldn't find any other place to put it. Right above my left shoulder we have maybe my favorite subgenre ever, which is weird girl literary fiction. We have the Queen, Mona Awad, we have Emma Klein, and we have Rachel Yoder and Eliza Clark. The big names, and I am hoping that this will be filled more, because this is literally one of my favorite subgenres, and I can't believe I haven't read that much in it yet. I am displaying Things We Say in the Dark because I love pomegranates and I love this cover, and I also thought it was a great short story collection. My favorite book on here might be Bunny by Mona Awad. It's this very crazy dark academia story following this cult of girls who dress up in pretty dresses and kill men. And yeah, Night Bitch is also great. I love boy parts, and this is just like girls going a little bit crazy, but I support them because I get it. And we also have my little lip products collection on here because I thought it fit the vibe kind of, and with my pen that I annotate with. And also, as you'll soon notice, a little teacup collection because I'm a grandma. Look at me. Yeah, I really like the shelf and I really like the decorations with it. And this is maybe the most random, well, this one and the one on top, the most random literary fiction shelf, but this is also holding some of my favorites. It's just really random. We have this random stack of all of the books that aren't turned the right way are my mum's old, like, high fantasy romance books that I'm using as decor pieces because they're very ugly, but I needed to fill some space because it felt empty. We have an LED candle, we have The Island of the Missing Trees, which, oh my god, please read it. Fabulous storytelling. This is being showcased because it's one of my newest additions to the shelf, and I'm kind of scared to read it because I haven't heard many great things, but I love the original that this is based on. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I always seem to struggle with the lowest shelves because I'm like, no one's going to look down there. I don't want any of my books to be mad, which sounds insane, which it is. But I'm always like, I don't want to put any of my pretty books down there, so I'm always struggling, but I think I like it how it is right now. We have some more random books to decorate with, and we have this little pouch, it's so pretty, which has like my sticky notes, some pens for annotating, bookmarks. There's like so many bookmarks in here. I don't know if I can take them out. Exactly. The lowest shelf on this one is filled with some Yellowface merch. I actually won like a little Yellowface giveaway which had this massive blogger box, I think it was called, and it had like a notebook, my annotating pen, bookmarks, a special edition of the German version. This is the special edition of Yellowface. It's so gorgeous. I will never read it because it's in German and I don't like reading in German. And it also features my own English copy of Yellowface, which is signed. And even though it's down there, it's my pride and joy. That's it for the first shelf, and this video is going to be so long because I apparently like to yap. But I have a bag over there, and then I have some random non-fiction books down there. We have my Florence Given books, which I haven't read the second one yet, but those are really pretty. We have another screenplay, which is a Barbie one. We have Bell Hooks, All About Love, and What Writers Read, which I'm really excited to read. Anyway, right behind me is where my classics collection starts. I wanted to have a bit of a like red and black section, which all around me right now, and I love those so much, and I love the candles with it. And I have this little, like, there's a lot of Halloween decorations on here because I love Halloween and I'm not taking them off. There's like a little black cat, which in my eyes is Salem, on a stack of books. It's so cute. The most beautiful copy of Alice in Wonderland. And quick story time, I'm trying to be quick about it. I was like, randomly one day I was like, oh my god, I really want to read Alice in Wonderland, but I'm not going to buy a new one. I just want to find one secondhand, because classics are so easy to find secondhand these days. And then I found this copy, which is from, I think, first printed in the 50s and last printed in the 70s. And I love this copy a lot as well. I think almost all of the Alice in Wonderland editions have like illustrations and stuff in them, and I think it's so cute. And then I think legit the next day or the day after, I went to a flea market, and lo and behold, in this random backyard of a rich person's house, in a bucket full of bullshit, lies the most beautiful copy of Alice in Wonderland. And it's so beautiful and so perfectly me, because it's obviously Alice in Wonderland, and I love Alice in Wonderland, but it also has like these black and red and gold details, and it's so beautiful. And I think I might change this up a little and showcase it more, because it's that gorgeous. But that's over there. And then I don't think you can see it behind me right now, but it's like right behind my chair, and it's the next black and red classic shelf. It has the most beautiful copy of Anna Karenina, and it's so thick, and I have yet to read it. I tried to read it once, and I have a little bit of big book fear, but I think I might actually take it upon myself and do it this year. But the second I opened the book and I saw that there were like character lists, and a lot of them, I was like, okay, this is not the time for me to be reading this. And right next to it, we have the most beautiful copy of Wuthering Heights. And I just love this one so much. The burgundy red with the gold detailing. Are you kidding me? Fabulous. And we also have my vintage mini classics down here, and then just some random Oscar Wilde and like the standard black and white classics copies. And that's it for that shelf. As I said, the shelves below that, none of your business. On top of the next shelf, we have again a bit of a random filler shelf, which is my ukulele and a red vinyl, just because this is the red shelf. And we also have some dried lavender. I used to have dried flowers all around my bookshelf, but now I've hung them up in my room. If anyone's interested in a room tour, let me know. I've been dying to do one. We have my Liba Dugo shelf, which has Shadow and Bone, the Shadow and Bone series, King of Scars, her newest book, The Familiar, Ninth House, which I've yet to read. We have the beautiful editions of Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom up there, and yeah, it's just the Liba Dugo books. And I really have to say, I love these editions of Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom so much. Right beneath it, we have my pride and joy, my vampire shelf, which I cannot believe there are only so little books on there, which I feel like I've made vampires my whole personality, and then I don't even have that many books. But sorry, I'm trying my best. I'm just a girl. We have my newest, it's my newest edition. We have Immortal Dark by Tiger Skarma, which I've just read in December. Fabulous, gorgeous writing. We have Dracula, which I have 2 editions of. I have like the most cheapest one I could find, because I really wanted to read Dracula. And honestly, the edition's not that ugly, but just comparing it to all the other gorgeous copies of Dracula, it's kind of a ugly one. But yeah, then my mum just this Christmas gave me this beautiful copy of Dracula, which, just take it in for a second. It's so gorgeous. And the gold foiling, I think I've never been a fan of, like, each to their own, but I've never been a fan of people collecting multiple editions of a book, except if they get them gifted. But I think I might want to do it with Dracula, because there's just so many beautiful copies, and I really want a black and red one, obviously. And I think I might just buy the German one, because it's really gorgeous. My Interview with the Vampire books, which I've only read the first one of, and these are not, like, the next one would be the Vampire Lester, but I don't think the next one is the Vampire Mount, but I found Amant's book secondhand, so I thought, why not pick it up. This is very vampire themed, as you can tell, and I also have this little light that's just Fangs. We have my S.T. Gibson books, which, oh my god, S.T. Gibson just knows how to write vampire books. And we also have A Long Time Dead, which this is my sapphic vampire stack, I would say. And right above it we have my little Gothic jewelry holder thing, which one of my friends gifted me, and I'm so obsessed with it. And I always put like my more Gothic leaning jewelry in there. The next shelf is the Dark Academia shelf, but also the eerie, Gothic, witchy, misty books. We have the Dark Academia books first, which is Babel, Emil Rio books, The Secret History, and I also apparently got this for my birthday last year. I have this picture of my husband, my dearly beloved dead husband, which is Remus Lupin. One of my newest additions to the shelf, and maybe one of my new favorite books, is Slewfoot, which is a witchy, Satan-esque, ritualistic, eerie, creepy, empowering book. Then like just some of the Gothic, weird kind of horror books. Then we continue on to my last classic shelf, which is the colorful classic shelves. But I love this shelf a lot. I surprisingly like this a lot, even though it kind of didn't match with the vibes I wanted for the shelf, but it's classic, so it's still academia-ish, I guess. We have this beautiful copy of Emma by Jane Austen, which I think I got like for €4 at TK Maxx, which, what's that about? TK Maxx? Slay! I also have my one and only, sadly, copy of one of the cloth-bound classics, which the one I have is The Star Child by Oscar Wilde. And if you haven't read any of Oscar Wilde's books, but you want to get into it, or you want to get into reading classics, this is a great collection to start, because it's like kind of, I don't know if it's considered children's stories, but it's like the short story collections of beautiful magical realism stories that Oscar Wilde wrote, and I think they're very lovely. And we also have Anne of Green Gables, just a lot of second-hand books as well, because I love buying classics second-hand. And we have the Modern Classics collection, which I don't have that many of, but I love them. They have never disappointed me. And some of the Penguin classics, the copy of Alice in Wonderland I was talking about, and this beautiful, I think I'm gonna take them out. I have these beautiful, I shouldn't have taken them out, I'm gonna film these anyway. I have this beautiful collection of Shakespeare's plays, which I really have to start reading them. I went through a bit of a thing when I reread If We Were Villains last year, and then I also happened to read Hamlet in the same month, and then I got kind of Shakespeare obsessed, which is funny considering that I've never read a single one of his plays except for Romeo and Julia. Right in the midst of this obsession, I went to like a charity shop, and they were selling, how many are there? They were selling 7 of these, and I was like, oh god, they're gonna sell it for so expensive because it's Shakespeare. But they didn't. They were literally selling this for €1 for each book, so €7. And the lovely lady at the register, she looked at me and was like, oh, you like Shakespeare? I was also wearing my Shakespeare and Company tote bag, which I think added to story. I think you'll really like Shakespeare, huh? I was like, and then she said, and you're probably a student, so I'll give them for you for 5. So I got all of these for 5. The last kind of, like, it's not the last, but the lowest shelf literally just has filler books and a pretty flower pot that the plant that used to be in there has died. The last shelf, on this shelf, so much, I've never said the word shelf that often, but is my poetry collection, which I want to branch out a bit more this year and read more poetry. We have Mary Oliver, we have like the Tumblr Pinterest poetry books. Considering that it's Valentine's Day soon, I have these poems of love, which I'm thinking I'm gonna read soon, just on Sons. I also have a little like female body candle on here, because I just thought it fit the vibe, poetry, female bodies. Sappho, I don't know. We have Unsound Swallowing by Dakota Warren on here, which I absolutely adore. And you can't really see them that well because I've just put my chair in front of it, but we also have a really random placement, I know, of 3 horror classics that I have. I just didn't know where else to put them, so they're there. We are getting into my last book-related shelf. On top we have Harry Potter. Not much to say. I have really random copies that I got secondhand to talk about. We do not support J.K. Rowling in this household. Might seem funny to you, but right below it we have my Marauders map, which now I think you're connecting the dots. I have Remus Lupin here, I have a very Dark Academia vibe, or I like to think I do, and then you're like, oh, she's a Marauder stan, which I am. Sirius Black's wand, and another framed picture of Remus Lupin, and my ring collection in this little moon trinket bowl that I make myself. I thought it'd be nice to put the Poppy War series right next to Babel, which same author, so I thought it'd be nice flow, I guess. We have Percy Jackson, first original 5 Percy Jackson books, and the Heroes of Olympus books, and the newest one, which I don't even... It's not even the newest one anymore. It was when I bought it. I have not read the Olympus series yet, which is one of my goals for this year. Because these are Greek mythology inspired, obviously. I love Rick Riordan so much. We have my other Greek mythology books, which I've been saying this for years, but I want to read more Greek mythology because I love Greek mythology. I just have yet to decide on books to pick up because I'm always scared that they're going to disappoint me. All of Madeline Miller's books, which I love the Song of Achilles so much. I know that's very basic, but I love it, okay? It was the book that got me into reading, and it has a very special place in my heart, and also it just makes me cry. The last book-related shelf, I guess, is the Hunger Games series. I'm only putting them down there because I just hate the copies so much, but in my personal opinion, there's not a single pretty copy of the Hunger Games, even though they're great books. So yeah, they're down there. And that's it for the book-related part of my bookshelf, because the last bookshelf that I have, I like to call it my multimedia shelf, which is, first of all, it has my plants on there, which I thought looked really nicely there. And it has some more filler books, some teacups, but then, pretty close to my Greek mythology shelf, I have a Greek statue, and I also have some old German editions that just look gorgeous right next to it, because I thought it would fit the vibe. I just picked these up randomly for free in a little free library, and they look gorgeous there, so that's there. And there's also my jewelry stand. And some art cards from Threads That Bind, which I just talked about, which got sent to me. I'm so thankful for it. One of the shelves that has some media on it and which I want to branch out more and get more of is my DVD shelf, because I love movies and love talking about movies. So we have just some of my favorite movies that I ended up finding secondhand for very little money, as well as my favorite movie, which is After Sun. I have this beautiful copy of Dead Poet Society, and I have it I have it showcased, obviously, because it's gorgeous. And I was so happy when I found this. I couldn't believe it, and now it's up there. We have some filler books, and this is like kind of my spiritual shelf. I have my crystals on here and my tarot cards, and I really like how they look, especially with the plant hanging over it, and I needed a place for it, so that's there. And this is my music related shelf, which has my record player, all of my records, which I have even more of, but they're really random, so they're not here. My drumsticks, a random shrine for One Direction, and I also have some magazines down there, and I think this is it. Great, I've been talking for 40 minutes. The hell. I hope you enjoyed my bookshelf. I'm really proud of it, and if you have any tips on how to get it more Dark Academia / vampire aesthetically, let me know. I'm always looking. I'm always taking inspiration from amazing creators on TikTok and on here and on Pinterest, of all places, obviously. And yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed, and see you next time. Welcome to mine and Laszlo's script. I built it myself. I need to check if you can see that I am wearing joggers, because that would not fit into the aesthetic we're having.